Hello, I'm NBG and welcome to the channel. I just got home from work and I kind of decided I think I'm going to start making a week in review type video where I just go over like my revenue, what I've been selling, what has been selling, well. Um, I'll talk about the things I've been working on, whether that's mostly gold oriented and otherwise, kind of like my goals for this upcoming week, and then just kind of things I'm looking out for. I'm going to do my best not to ramble too much. There's a few of these things that I could make a dedicated video to talk about. There's a lot to talk about, but I thought it was important to kind of just talk about this initial launch week of Dragonflight, where it's kind of left me as a gold maker and, just the things I'm looking at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First off, I was actually going to talk about my total profits this week, but honestly, TSM and stuff is just wrong on how much gold I've made, so I'm not even going to show that graph and everything. But right now, it looks like week one, I've made, I would very closely estimate of 4 million gold in the first week is my profit that I've had. I know a lot of people have done a lot better than that. I think I've done decently. I absolutely think I could have done better, and I'll talk about a few of the things I wish I would have done differently within this video. But right now, my week one profit is right at about 4 million gold made this week. One of the things I am going to talk about this week is some of the things I've been selling or doing to make that said gold. I'm just going to point out that I only have this going back, well, I guess last 30 days, so that would count everything this week that I've made. So I currently have about, in terms of sales, a little over 1.1 million gold made just from the combatant gear. As you can see, these prices in here of like 4K, 3.5K, 2.7K, they're dropping like a rock. However, it doesn't cost that much to make them, so I'm still consistently making profit. However, the gold that I was making, I mean, it's not, this is how much is coming in, but this is not accounting like the materials that I'm buying. But most of these items, I guess if I had a total number, I don't even know, 63 items, I guess. 63 items, most of these probably cost me at least less than 2K to make, given what I currently have. So yeah, it really hasn't been that bad. It's probably, I guess, real revenue is probably 900,000 if I'm estimating. I've still made a lot from it. That's my entire point. Is it's still selling? I'm still making a lot. I'm still making consistent gold. That's done really well. The other thing that's not really on here is just how much vibrant shards. Yeah, see, this total isn't right as well. I have sold an awful lot of vibrant shards, well more than what this would indicate. And this is what I'm weirded out by. I'm like, why is this wrong? I've sold more than this. Over that first day or so, I did about 1.5 million in sales on it. I think I am close to 2 million. So my total revenue, just between the shards, was probably close to 2 million. And then another approximately 1 million came in from the combatant gear, is my guess. So there's about 1 million more there left of the profit that I've made, and that is spread across many things, whether general questing, selling things to the vendor. You're talking some work orders, right? I've had a couple work orders. I've had a couple sales for like decent item level rings, things of that nature that I've brought in. Work orders, by the way, I could make a whole video about that, but I've only made, probably through personal work orders, I've made maybe 25,000 gold. It's been absolutely garbage. I'm trying to push mythic quality stuff. I can't make a video about that until probably after next week, after I can make things at higher quality and I can start seeing if I really can sell that crap or not. But I really didn't do a whole lot with that in this first week. I've done some public orders basically only on my inscriptionist, and that's primarily just selling the treaties to people. I've probably made around the same, around 20K out of just pure luck, somewhere around there, of just checking every once in a while and selling public orders for different treaties that people send out. Other than that, work orders haven't done jack crap for me for the most part. And yeah, and then the rest of the gold is, I know where 200,000 of that came in, that I kind of undersold it, I think, but that dog pet that I had talked about earlier in the week in a video, I sold one for only 200k, unfortunately. Mostly because I was lazy. Somebody else posted one kind of low, and I just posted mine. And then, of course, it like instantly sold, and I was like, wish I would have gotten a bit more, but whatever. Anyway, so I know like another 200k came from that, and that's pretty much where my 4 million in profit has come from this week. So it's not bad. I've set myself up pretty well. I have spent a good million in the last day or two just doing other random stuff. One of the things I've been spending on is I spent on the fish, right? So you can do like the leveling method for using the fish if you have the fishing holes unlocked. I have leveled one character at least from like 65 to 70 buying fish, so that was like 160,000 or 150,000, something like that, worth of gold of just fish for the vendor. Like, I've done things like that to where I've kind of blown gold. I've also been trying to get a whole bunch of professions up and going, and I was also doing that early in the week when the sale, like early at the start of the expansion, when the prices of things were a lot more expensive. So I have blown a good amount of gold. My overall profit right now is sitting at around 4 million this week. So now I'd like to talk about just like what I'm working on. Currently there is a shuffle video to come. I still have a profession or so I need to get up. There's two things I'm trying to try first before I share with you. I have a couple other shuffles that I do, and I don't want to talk about them here because I'm going to make a video about it. So I'm going to tell you hopefully Friday. That'll probably be Friday night's post, where I will discuss probably 3 to 5 other shuffles that are potentially available. A couple of them you need a lot of gold kind of initially, and the output isn't very amazing. Most of these shuffles, it's like you just have to catch them at the right time, and it's not like the shuffle for the bracers, which is 1, brain dead cheap and easy, and 2, just like guaranteed profit. Even though the profit as I checked last night, it was down to like 25k an hour. It's still 25k an hour, right? It's not the absolute worst thing in the world. These other shuffles that I do potentially can make more, but either there's things that usually stop them, whether it's just you're not going to have enough to be able to do because you're going to buy out everything available that you can do it with, or the procs will be bad, or there's other things. And again, in that video later in the week, I will go over each of those and kind of talk about them individually and potentially show them off if they're available to be shown off at that time. But if they're not, I'll just at least let you know about them, because they're things that every time I log on and I go on those characters that can do them, I kind of just take a look. Is this shuffle available right now? Can it make decent gold? Yes, no. You know, obviously if I can, I just do it real quick, and if I can't, then I go on to the next thing. So that's something that's going to be coming this week. And another major one is the other things I'm working on, one of the other major things I'm working on is my profession treasures. Not all of my characters have all their skill points from getting the profession treasures. I will probably go ahead and put a link in the description down below that you can use to go to Wowhead specifically, look at your profession, and go to each of those treasures that are out in the world. Relatively easy to get. They're each 3 of the skill points, so what is there, like 7 or 8 of them per? It really adds up. There's a lot of skill points there. Get them done, especially on main crafters. I only have it done on a couple characters because I am behind, so I need to finish that. That's probably over the next day or two is my project. Hopefully have all that done by the end of the weekend, mostly because I plan on having all my other professions up and ready to go by then. Another thing that I'm working on this week is profession masters. I will go ahead and probably put an image up here if I have it. Each profession, I believe, has a profession master that you can talk to for some skill points. I believe the only prerequisite is you need to be at least 25 into the profession to be able to talk to them and get that item. I have done none of those, so that is on my list as I'm doing my treasures. I will also hit up the profession master, talk to them, get some more skill points, good to go. To go along with that is we have this week for Darkmoon Fair. I will make sure I get out to the Darkmoon Fair and finish any profession quests that can be done out there for more skill points. So that's also on the list. I think it goes without saying that there is the weeklies for crafting and stuff in general, whether it's the work order stuff where, complete 5 work orders, all that kind of stuff. That goes without saying. That is weekly content. That is stuff you have to do every single week to stay on top. So I have all of that to do as well. Also on tap for me this week is just more alts and professions. I have, 370s, a 60, 67, 60, 266s, 65, 63, and a 61 right now, I think. I have other things that I need to get leveled and get to max. And that goes both for just alts that I actually want to play, potentially, as well as just other professions. I have multiple inscriptionists, I have multiple of different things, multiple jewel crafters, I have multiple enchanters, I have different ones that I'm working on, and I'm pushing a different direction first with multiple of these. So I need to finalize that this week. And part of that is just, it's just kind of like the thought process I had going into this was these first 2 weeks before season 1 starts is going to be your best time to get ready. To me, I don't need to have great gear going into like day 1, to do Mythic Plus or to start PvP or whatever the case may be. And the reason is that content's going to be around for the whole season. I could start that a month late if I wanted to, catch up and be fine, right? Maybe I'm going to struggle a little bit, It's fun to stay with like the higher end crowd or whatever the case may be. But that's not something I'm working on or worried about. That stuff is going to be available for me. Right now, my plan, my focus is getting my alts ready, getting my account ready, getting my professions ready, doing all of that, figuring out what the hell I want to play, right? Those are all like the most important things to figure out first, and that's what my focus is for these first 2 weeks. That and just making gold, because there's not the other stuff to do. So if the bulk of my gold I want to come in within these 2 weeks, that way I can kind of chill a little bit more and focus on the content that I want to do. So that basically covers it for what I'm working on. And it's, a lot more profession set up for this week as well, leading into the weekend. Let's quickly talk goals. I know that's kind of like what I'm working on, but like what I'm working on isn't the same thing as goals. So my goals is I need to finish and stay on top of my professions. I already talked about I'm working on catching up with the treasures as well as the masters and my Darkmoon Fair and making sure all their weeklies are done, all that kind of stuff. I need to get that done on every crafter I give a crap about, because if you miss it, you miss it, and you're just going to be behind forever. So I got to get all that stuff done. Specifically, I need to get the treasures and masters done, just because I haven't done that, and that's a lot of skill that I'm losing out on a couple characters I actually really need it on. So that's the main thing. After that, my next main thing I kind of talked about, I need to get everything I want leveled, whether that's alts or professions. I need to get them leveled where I want them by the end of the week. That's my goal by the end of the weekend, to have that settled and done. With that, that means I already know my main's my warrior. That's just what it's going to be. I'm kind of in the process of figuring out my main alt. It's kind of a close one, because there's classes I like for different reasons, but then I dislike them for another reason, and I'm trying to find like that happy balance. I don't really want to play one thing just in PvE and one thing just in PvP. I want to be able to do all the content with a certain character and enjoy it. Right now I'm in the process of leveling a Shadow Priest, because I think they're actually really, really fun. I love the Mindbender build and stuff like that. I think it feels really, really good. I potentially want to make that my second character, which I definitely didn't think that going into the expansion. In pre-patch, they were probably my second rated caster behind Evoker in terms of ones I liked, but I think Shadow Priest I could see myself playing all the content with, basically. Also in the running for main alt would probably be BM Hunter, and then an outside third would probably be Enhancement Shaman or potentially LA Shaman. But that's something I need to figure out by the end of the weekend. That way I can kind of focus on like 2 characters in terms of doing content going forward, at least for the meantime. So going off of that, I need to finally start actually gearing, actually start getting some gear and play what I like to call playing the game, specifically on my warrior, if not something else. I need to start getting some gear to get ready for Mythic Plus and PvP starting this next week, because going forward, I need to get my Mythic Pluses done for the week. I need to get my get my conquests, do all that. Like, I need to stay on top of that stuff. So that's why all this other stuff needs to get finalized first. That way I can focus on the content I want to do. So that is the goal for this week, to finally start gear. And then on the gold making side, I'm watching the market closely, and there's a couple things that I'm going to watch the market closely for that I'll talk about in a minute. But there's been massive change. Every day I swear I look, and there's massive changes and fluctuations, and that's still going to happen. And I guess this goes without saying, but you have all that content opening up this next week, and I feel that that's going to make another drastic change in the market. And it's my job and goal to watch it carefully and react properly. So that is also something that is a goal for this week, is to make sure I am, hey, get out of my camera, is to make sure that I am ready to go to make whatever change I need to be, or sell something that's automatic, somehow much higher in value, whatever the case may be. I just need to watch the market and have a better understanding of where things are at right now going into the week, and then how they change as the week progresses. In particular on Tuesday, just give like that Tuesday, Wednesday, really need to stay on top of the market. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. Well, that brings us to the last little key thing I wanted to just things to keep an eye out for. This is both personal and otherwise, and I'll just get right after it. One of the things I'm watching is specifically the enchanting and alchemy markets, and seeing how they're doing. There's many other things, but those are two things I'm looking at. I'm trying to monitor those going into this week, where all of a sudden people are going to start getting gear and needing consumables as well, and they're going to need those enchants, so on and so forth. So I'm going to kind of watch those markets closely to see if there's enough supply. I'm kind of readying myself to be able to be part of that supply. So I'm definitely watching out for that this upcoming week, because if that stuff's going to rise in price, that's when it's going to happen. I'm watching and trying to be ready for mythic crafting. In particular, Dark Moon decks, weapons, things of that nature. Once people are going to start being able to make those at like max quality or close to it, that is a market that I need to pay attention. It's something I can make a whole video about, but I really have no idea, like, what is somebody going to charge to make a top quality, I guess 5-star, whatever you want to call it, tier 5, whatever, like two-handed weapon. Like, what is that going to go for? Are people going to be like, oh, your mats, or I can recraft, but plus 100,000 gold, plus 10,000, plus 5? I mean, even when I was making like, I guess it was like day 2 or whatever, making like a 3-star quality ring, I knew nobody else that at least was promoting it, but I was like, boom, I can do this, and I put it out in chat, and I wanted like 10k, as a, as I guess a commission. Can't say tip because it's not a tip, right? I was immediately getting flamed for that. It's their mats. Why you charge them 10k? Because I put my work into the profession, right? Like, otherwise, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing this if I can't sell and make gold from it? 10k isn't a lot. Obviously, I can make a lot more than that in an hour doing other crap, let alone going through the difficulty. Anyway, I don't want to jump off track. I have a lot to say about work orders, but I really cannot wait, or like I can't do that until another week or two goes by, and we can really see how it fluctuates, like how it changes and where it ends up at. But that's part of it, is that mythic, crafting of like the Darkmoon trinkets or weapons or whatever is, or like Infurious PvP gear. I'm looking into that stuff as well. Where is that stuff really going to end at? What are people charging for? Is that going to be a market worthwhile to make the best Infurious leather boots, that I could potentially sell to those PvP tryhards that want that extra oomph going into the start of the season? Like, is that going to be worth it? I don't know. It's something I'm ready to jump on, but also watching from a distance all at the same time. So that's something I would keep an eye out for as well, because if mythic quality crafting is ever worthwhile, it's going to be worthwhile like the moment it's available, the moment that person can actually, the first X amount of people who can finally make those items at top tier quality, like that's the time it's going to be worth it. But is it really, right? After that, that's about it for my week and what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, what I'm watching, all that kind of stuff. So the last couple things to keep an eye out for, as I said before, I'm going to be making a shuffle video, I think by the end of the week. specifically going over other shuffles I have not shown you guys yet of ones that I'm consistently looking for and doing if they're available to make some profit. And then other than that, I also want to say that I'm going to be streaming Saturday about 7 or 8 a.m. somewhere around there. It could be earlier. It could be at 6 a.m. to be honest. Anywhere in that time area, just depending on when I get up and get moving, get some breakfast in me, stuff like that. But anyway, 7 or 8 a.m. Definitely not 8. It's probably closer to like 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. to be honest. Anyway, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time to about noon-ish my time. I plan on doing a 4 to 6 hour stream. That's just something that you can rely on, that if you want to come hang out, chat, talk about things, ask questions, play the game with me, like, it doesn't matter. I plan on streaming every Saturday at the minimum, maybe more, but right now I'm going to start with every Saturday. That'll be the time slot I'm kind of on, chilling, hanging out with people. The couple streams that we did do for the people that were there, it was fantastic. It was fun. A lot of great questions, a lot of great things we were able to talk about and try, shuffles we were able to attempt, other things like that. So it'll probably be a mix of gold making, general play, PvE, maybe mythic play. It'll just be dependent on what's going on that day. Hopefully when I get a little bit more of a routine in the game that I just do every single day, I'll eventually be able to start sharing that so you can kind of see my thought process and how I go through to I guess maximize the most out of my time. But anyway, that is it for today's video. I don't know if this is helpful. Hopefully it is. If it is or isn't, let me know down in the comments. Do you want to see a week in review kind of thing going forward? Yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this was helpful to you. I really appreciate all the support. We are growing quickly. I would like to keep that moving. We're getting closer to that 1,000 subs. I can't remember what I'm at. I'll actually check while I'm making this. 763 last time I checked. We have less than 250 to go to hit that 1,000. Yeah, it's been awesome. So with that, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you would like to see. Let me know what I can do better. And I'll see you guys in the next video.